Hey there, I'm Colin Weston. So today on the Mod Golf YouTube channel, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship and kind of the equivalent of Shark Tank for golf, which is the Golf Pitch Challenge. And if you're a golf entrepreneur and you're looking to take your venture to the next level, we're going to have a conversation that you're going to enjoy today on the Mod Golf YouTube channel. So today my guest is Carolin Pinegger, who is a golf entrepreneur doing all kinds of wonderful things in the golf space. Also knows golf very well because she's was a professional golfer in her life and has taken all of that knowledge, all of those learnings to ramp that up and doing some amazing things in the partnerships she has in the golf entrepreneurship space. And let me bring Carolin on here. There she is. Carolin, good to see you again. How's it going today?
Good, good. Thanks for having me, Colin. This is exciting. I love to talk entrepreneurship and talk to you, of course. We've talked a couple of times. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And for our viewers here, Carolyn and I just finished up a long form audio podcast. I'll have that link down in the comments below there. I do encourage you to come listen to that because we talk about your entrepreneurial journey, the ups and downs, the up, not a straight line, and all the things that you've done to arrive where you are. So we're not going to focus on that. We're going to take the conversation to a slightly different level here, and we're going to focus on an awesome event that's coming up in a couple of weeks' time here when this video is released here, and that's at the end of May, and that's the Golf Pitch Challenge and Mastermind event. So first of all, Carolyn, why don't you tell our viewers here what that event is, what you did at the PGA show, and how you're taking it at the next level in Orlando in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Golf Pitch Challenge, if you think Shark Tank, that's basically a Shark Tank in the golf industry. And it does have a little bit of an additional spin to it because it's not all about just, the money investing and all that stuff. That may or may not happen, right? That's not the main goal of this. The main goal of this is to guide and to support and to partner with products that we think are promising in the golf space and then help them get to market, help them really, get market share and being able to really scale and make some money and make the product a success. And when I say we, I'm talking about a team of a couple of really great people, and some of them I've known for a very long time, including David Ledbetter being one of the, most well-known golf coaches in the space in the world. He's in his fifth decade of teaching. We've got Kevin Harrington, who is obviously a tycoon in the infomercial space and kind of started that space in the, back in the 80s and 90s. And he's actually one of the original sharks on Shark Tank on season one. So that's his bread and butter. We have myself, Carolin Pinegger, obviously. I am the subject matter expert in the social media side and the marketing side. And we have Mike and Derek Locker, who are the supply chain experts, anything that is product related, and also one of our best golf club and product engineers who still works very closely with myself and David on David's other companies, Santiago Marie. So we have a great team, and we love to see new products in the golf space. And yeah, this event is going to be creating, a whole networking event, a whole mastermind day, and a consulting day for inventors that join us and that come to Reunion. It's going to be May 21st, 22nd. And we're really excited to see some really cool new products and be able to help you guys answer some questions about, what is the product good? Is it viable? If it's not yet viable, can it be made viable? How can I market? How do I improve the product? So they're really, the sky is the limit, Colin. We want to hear your idea and we want to help.
Nice, nice. So with the Mod Golf podcast, I've been at this for 7 years, focusing on entrepreneurship and innovation in the golf industry. And I'll be honest, Carolyn, I've wondered for the last couple of years is why hasn't anybody done what you are doing here with the Golf Pitch Challenge and the Mastermind event? Because golf in the US alone is over $100 billion a year industry, probably almost double that globally, or at least 150% of that. So it's massive. And so you obviously found a need, a niche, and a gap in the market here. And you tested that at the PGA show when you had your first Golf Pitch Challenge. And I've had a chance to connect with the winner of that challenge, who I'm going to have on the podcast. I think that'll be a great story there, and it'll also reinforce the good things you're doing. So you're a good storyteller. So tell us that story of the first Golf Pitch Challenge on stage there, of the, I think it was like five or half a dozen different ventures and companies and founders pitched, and then tell us about the winner. So tell us about that day in Orlando at the PGA show.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great day. And if you've ever been to the PGA show, it's the most beautiful disaster and chaos that ever existed in the golf
Okay.
space. And everybody has this love-hate relationship with that week just because it's just, out there. But we had an incredible time, and I've always loved the PGA show, and they've done a really great job supporting us with this event, and we couldn't, have wished for it to go any better. And yeah, we had a lot of meetings, kind of one-on-one meetings with our inventors in the beginning of both days, Wednesday and Thursday. And we really wanted to give our inventors a little bit of one-on-one time and talk about their product. And then we selected five inventors that could pitch on stage to us that we felt were the group that was the best fit for that type of pitch. And that was actually on the main stage. And we were all sitting there as a panel, and they were pitching to not just us, but everybody at that on the floor. You know how it is at the PGA show. People stop. It's an open space. So there was a lot of people watching. And that was, I think, a great experience for these entrepreneurs, being able to pitch in front of absolutely everybody. And, Jürgen, as you mentioned, he's actually also from Austria, and I'm Austrian. If you haven't been able to pick up on my accent, it's I mean, you have, but for the viewers and listeners, right? They may not know that I'm from Austria. So when he applied to the Golf Pitch Challenge, I was very excited because I just like, oh my God, look, another Austrian. There's only about 8 million of us in the entire world. So, he ended up here in my inbox. And it was very exciting, and it's nice to be able to support somebody from, the country that I'm from. It's nice to support anybody, but you know what I'm saying. It's just not that common. Golf isn't that big in Austria, and he made his way over to the PGA show. He put so much effort into it, and he was nervous about the pitch because it's maybe not everybody's nature to be talking and presenting, and everybody's different, but he did an incredible job, and he has a very good product, the Grip Caddy, and we're very excited to support Jürgen with it and help him get this product, where it can go, because it has a ton of potential, and that's why we do what we do.
Nice, nice. So can you describe on Jurgen's behalf here what the grip caddy is, and also what criteria? Why did he win as compared to the others? What did you see in that product that stood above the other inventors that were pitching that day?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't want to say one product was necessarily better than the other, because we already selected the products that were all, highly promising. However,
Mhm.
obviously somebody has to win, and Jürgen won because it was a very unique product. I think, in my opinion, and I'm sure you'd probably get slightly different answers if you asked David and Kevin and everybody else on the panel, but in my humble opinion, it was just the niche and the uniqueness of the product, because there really isn't a very good way of cleaning your grips, or even thinking about cleaning your grips out there. I mean, when I was on tour, we always just kind of had the caddies or ourselves like wet a little bit of those towels and then just rub the grips really hard. But it's not comfortable. It's not easy to do either. And it's just kind of a bootstrap solution, right? I mean, it's not a grip cleaner. It's just a towel and some water.
Right.
um, and this just seemed to be a very unique product. It's also a product that you can gift very well because it is so unique, right? So there is different markets and audiences to that product, that if you look at the regular golfer, it's very costly and also just kind of a pain to change your grips, if that's only ever the only option, right? As a professional player, you just have your caddy do it, or your company sends you new clubs. You don't have to think about this type of stuff.
Right.
But that's 1% of the golf market, right? Everybody else should, in fact, look at their grips more often, because when I get my parents' clubs in my hands once a year, I'm like, you should really be changing these grips. But they don't know. B, they don't know what it means to have a clean grip and to kind of extend that lifetime of a grip, and what it can do for your golf swing, because they get slippery, right? And then you actually increase your grip pressure, and then you may be clinging onto the club a lot harder than you ever did before, and that changes your swing. It's a whole, chain reaction. So that's where it was a very unique product. It brought a benefit to the user, and yeah, that's why it won.
There we go. And yeah, having Jurgen on the show in the next couple of months, that's the plan here. I hope to have a grip caddy in my hand also. So I never even realized that was a problem that I would have myself as the relatable average 14 handicapper. I know the clubs that I just had, I just got some new irons, so I have some new grips. But my old grips, if you looked at those, you probably or he would lose his mind because they're just nasty. It's like, how can you even hold on to these things? Uh, so I find this interesting. Where I'm going with this is the fact there is an actual pain point. There is a problem as compared to a lot of products that I've seen, or people, my inbox is littered with them, of people wanting to get on the show and their product. I look at this, or I see them at the PGA show. I don't want to be mean here, but in a way, they're kind of a solution looking for a problem. And it's like they haven't really thought that through, but it sounds like that's part of the coaching that you provide and the advice, and with the mastermind event, that type of insight that you'll provide, not to reject people, but allow them maybe to tweak. And we talked about pivoting a little bit and refining, just like you've done with your own brand. So tell us a little bit about that with the mastermind event, of that type of insight that you're going to be providing people that are present for the event at the end of May.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a mix of people will be able to pitch, of course. There will be a golf pitch challenge as part of this event, and you'll be pitching to the panel as well as all the other inventors. It's gonna be a smaller group because it's a smaller event on purpose, so we can actually spend more time individually with the companies. And then there's going to be sessions from all of the judges individually and in a group. So there's going to be one group session where it's a big Q&A and people can ask us, and we all have different kind of areas of expertise. And David and Kevin will talk about what makes or breaks a really good golf product, because that's just kind of the overarching, what have they seen in their lifetime, what Kevin has sold, I don't know, billions of dollars into the biggest distributors of in the US and globally. David has developed many golf products, so he knows what the market needs, what the market wants, how to position a product, right? And then I'm going to be deep diving into the social media and marketing 101, because so many of these inventors don't quite know how to navigate that space because it's changing. It's always changing. It's rapidly changing. And, the second you feel like you figured it out, then the algorithm is like, nope, you have not. So that's something where you got to establish a knowledge around. And also it's a science within itself. So I'll be speaking about that. And then we have a supply chain talk, making sure that, what do you need to look at when you're manufacturing? Where should or shouldn't you be manufacturing? What are the typical pitfalls of manufacturing if you're new to this, and the prototyping, as well as just like changing and engineering of certain products. If you have a certain product, is there, something you need to tweak to make sure that later on you're not giving yourself more work because now your customers are telling you there's a fault in it, and then it takes you months to remold it, you have to reproduce it, you have to reship it. It's all money that should be in your pocket, not going out of your pocket. So that's all the things we're going to be covering, and much more, right? In individual sessions, any questions that these inventors have, but that's a little overview of what's going to be discussed.
Nice. And you mentioned with Jurgen, with Grip Caddy, that he's perhaps a bit of an introvert. English isn't his first language. He hasn't had that much experience in front of an audience, and a bit nervous. So is also another layer of what you're providing here is helping to refine the messaging, and with creating a pitch deck and getting some feedback on that, even some pitch practice, so that, because not everybody's like you and I, where we've had some experience, and quite honestly, you and I, you get a microphone in our hands here, and you can't shut us up here. With a lot of people don't feel quite as comfortable with that. So is that also another piece to the puzzle that you're going to be providing?
Yeah, absolutely. And we encourage, sometimes people ask us who should be pitching from the team, right? And we say, well, have the guy who's least comfortable with it, have him pitch. Because it's just a learning experience, right? You have to do it in order to get better. And that applies to absolutely everything in life. So yes, absolutely. And having Kevin there who's evaluated these pitches, I don't know how many hundreds of times in his life, is going to be really great. And we're going to be giving feedback on the pitch. And people also always ask, how many slides can I bring? And I always tell them, think Shark Tank. We do not want a PowerPoint presentation. We want you to give us the elevator pitch of this. Show some enthusiasm, show us the product, show us why, right? Connect with the audience, pitch to everybody, engage them, talk to them, ask them questions. This isn't your corporate PowerPoint where you're standing there with the clicker, because everybody can do that to some extent. So yes, we love seeing and helping pitchers get better at what they do, because that is your business card. In today's day and age, people have a very short attention span, Colin. People don't want to, if it takes you more than 30 seconds to a minute to truly get your message across, they're on to the next new shiny thing.
I agree. And I don't know if you remember, in Orlando, when I had the opportunity to pitch our latest golf venture, what we've been working on for a couple of years, I didn't bring any visuals, no PowerPoint, nothing on screen. And I think someone asked me in the room, is like, you have anything to put on, to show us? And it's like, nope, I'm just here to have a conversation. And that's what I did for the 10 minutes. I just painted a picture with my words, and just made a point of connecting, knowing a bit about the people that were in the room and seeing where the value connection could be there, and just having that conversation rather than, staring at a screen there with my back turned to the audience, engaging with the people. So yeah.
And you did amazing. So
Aw,
it was a great time, and that we love that. And it's so interesting to see everybody come in and be so different in their approach too, right? Based on their personality. So I always love the psychology behind it and seeing how people are different. I love it.
nice, nice. Okay, so why don't you tell our viewers if they are thinking now, it's like, hey, I like this Golf Pitch Challenge and Mastermind event. I want to know more. Why don't you let our viewers know where they connect, where they can find you and find the Golf Pitch Challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to learn more about the event and read the schedule, the agenda, so it's going to be May 21st, 22nd. First day is going to be the pitch and mastermind day. Second day, the 22nd of May is going to be the golf day. You simply go to www.golfpitchchallenge.com, and you can also find us on TikTok and on Instagram, same handle, golfpitchchallenge.com. And you can basically DM us and you can, engage with us, and just I'm always looking at these channels, and I'm always seeing what comes through. So we'd love to hear from you guys.
Nice, nice. And yeah, in the comments below, I will leave all the links to what you just mentioned there to make it nice and easy for all of our aspiring golf entrepreneurs out there to hopefully descend upon Orlando for those 2 days in the end of May and join you and take their entrepreneurial endeavor to the next level. So before we finish up here, I want to also mention to everybody that you are really blowing up in a good way on social media, especially TikTok, Instagram, and also on YouTube, all the good things that you do. We talked about that. We took a deep dive in the podcast. I'm not going to get into that here, but why don't you just share with our audience what you do through your social media and why you do it and how they can connect with you there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Coach Carolin, as most people know me as their coach on social media. And I really kind of started my content on TikTok and Instagram with very short and digestible, fun reels that are just quick, anywhere from 10 seconds to I think 25, 30 seconds max, where I'm explaining a swing concept. So if you're looking for quick, easy tips that actually make you better, then I encourage you to check it out. It's Carolin Pinegger, my full name, on Instagram. It's Coach Carolin on TikTok. And let me what is my YouTube? It's Coach Carolin, also on YouTube. And those are really my main three channels. Facebook, you will also find me, but if you find one channel, you'll find them all. And yeah, I love giving value to my community. And as Colin mentioned, I played professionally, so I have so much golf knowledge in my brain, and I just want to give it to everybody else out there and make them love this game as much as I do. So that's why I do what I do. And if you're looking for some fun, lighthearted, and still very good and in-depth golf instruction, then maybe my channel is for you. So I'd love
And
to see you.
And I love your channels. I love all the content you put out there too. I'm a big fan, so I can wholeheartedly endorse all the awesome things that you're doing. And I'd like to think that the tips that you're providing are going to make me a little bit better on this 2024 season. Hopefully, I can get that handicap down closer to a single digit, like I was at a couple years ago during COVID, and now I'm back up. Funny how that works. I'm in the golf industry, and I was warned this years ago that I'll give up my golf game. So I'm fighting hard not to have that happen, Carolyn. So hopefully, with your tips and me putting in the work, that I'll get back down to almost that single digit again where I was.
Well, absolutely. I'm happy to help. And, if nothing else, we still can call David Ledbetter. And if he can't help Colin, then I think David always says, stop for 2 weeks and then quit completely. But again, I believe in you. I think you're going to be great. So
Oh,
who
thanks.
to call.
And who knows, maybe if I can cobble it together here with my schedule, perhaps I can descend upon Orlando and be there for the Mastermind and Golf Pitch Challenge. And who knows, maybe I can get a tip or two from David during the round of golf at the shotgun on the second day there. Maybe that'll happen. I'm liking this now. I think maybe
Yeah,
I've
I
got
think
to
you
find a
will.
way to get there. Doesn't sound like Kevin Harrington's going to give me any golf tips, but I guess he can give some tips in some other areas in life.
Yeah, absolutely. His expertise is somewhere else, but that's why we have a great team.
That's true. Good stuff. All right, I got to end it there. Carolin Pinegger, thanks so much for joining me on the Mod Golf YouTube channel. I always enjoy our conversations, and I hope to see you again in person very soon.
Thanks, Colin. Thanks for having me.